Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are live. We've got a full panel tonight. We are going to do our top 10 tracks from 1982. We're going to keep it loose. We want to hear from you. Here we go.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Well, we are live, everybody. Hey, I want to welcome everybody to the chat. I want to welcome the panel tonight. We are still waiting for one more person, and hopefully we can shoot the shit long enough before he gets here. Anyway, I want to welcome Yvonne from Norway.
Yeah, thanks,
Yvonne's
Grant.
new to the channel. Welcome to the show, Yvonne. Nice to see you. Always nice to have a fresh new face here, even though we've seen you before in the chat. But ladies and gentlemen, Yvonne, he is here. Johnny Metal is here. DC Tune Time. Johnny Metal is wearing the colors, ladies and gentlemen. We have DC Tune Time. BM Bolt is here. And John the Music Nut. We are still waiting on Mr. Schnee to show up. He had a little bit of work to do, and he's running a bit behind, but we can carry on because we are professionals here in the warehouse. So
except for when we always stick up the first song, one of the first songs on the screen.
Well, that's because you're starting off, Mr. Bolt. Yeah, that's why
I'm
it's
down
up.
at the bottom.
No,
Bottom center square.
Oh, you're at the. Well, I can move you.
Well, Marlon's here, so we can really get
Wait a
going.
minute. Let's look and see who's here tonight because
We got a lot of people already.
Marlon just
Marlon,
checked in.
look, Marlon, where were you yesterday, Marlon? Luis, Annie T, of course.
Eric Robertson, good to
Stephen
see you, buddy.
David, D Rocker. Hey, well, D Rocker, that might be mentioned tonight. I don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything. Tony. There you go, BM, is one of your fans. He thinks YNT's a great band. But we are going to start off with, I've got that as your number. This was the first image up, so that's why I picked it. You don't want to start off with that?
I can start off.
That's what
You might want to move me up to the top then.
All right.
Ladies
and gentlemen.
Oh, we're going to play that game.
I'll move it
Oh
up
boy,
if you
get the
want me
possum
to.
out.
Oh, here we go.
Everybody, he's here. He's in. He's getting ready. I'm going to bring him in, ladies and gentlemen.
Good to see
Hang
you.
on to your hats.
There he is, ladies
There
and
he
gentlemen.
is.
He's here.
Hey.
Look
Hello.
at this panel. My God. Man, this is a great panel tonight.
I think it's 2/3 or 2/7 great.
Is it? Well, Schnee, you missed it, but Yvonne from Norway's here.
He's all right.
You see me?
Yeah, you see him?
No, I know. No, I'm excited about this. Yes, I'm very excited to have everybody here.
All right, cool. Well, this is going to be fun. This may go a little while, but it's about time. This is like our mini Hudson Valley Square show, kind of.
Yeah, they got nothing on us.
They
Is
got
this
nothing
live?
on us. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, crap.
Here we go.
You can't fix my hair in post-production.
Marlon says Schnee's hair keeps getting darker. How does that happen?
He's getting younger in reverse.
No, you see, I think that's well. First off, hello everybody. Why don't you introduce me? I know Yvonne, and I know Daryl, and I know you.
Oh, that's right.
Grant.
Schnee hadn't been on here.
Yes.
So Yvonne, we've got Johnny Metal to his. I don't know where. There's Johnny Metal.
Nice to meet you.
You know BM Bolt.
Of course, I know BM Bolt.
Of course. And we got John the Music Nut in the black.
John.
There he is.
Love your channel, Steve.
Giving
Yes,
you the black power
absolutely.
sign. That's cool. And then we've got Daryl, DC Toon Time. You familiar with Daryl?
A little bit.
Him and his possum.
Vaguely.
Anyway, I want to welcome everybody again. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. The panel looks like fake wood paneling, so prevalent in houses from the 60s to the,
That's
the
great.
90s.
Wow.
Pretty
That's
much.
great.
Oh boy.
Oh, God.
So they're bringing it early on.
So who
Jason,
did I?
nice to see you. Gary, of course, we couldn't do the show without Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Right.
Hi,
Who
Jason.
did I interrupt?
Uh,
Because somebody was talking about YNT.
Well, that's
We
BM.
haven't even
BM Bolt's
started
going to.
yet.
We haven't started.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if I can redo the order. How can I do that? I think I can do. Let me think about
You
it.
can move these squares around. Is
Just
that what you want, or-
press the shuffle order button. Just see who shows up top.
It's not chess.
Is there a shuffle order?
No.
Yvonne is the man, the myth, and the legend.
Yeah,
wait a
even the
second.
music man. Sub me.
Wait,
Yeah.
We've gone international.
Yeah, from Norway.
I don't know how to do it. I'm just
Oh,
going
right.
to leave it. I'll remember.
Write it down who you're going to do then.
Yeah, we'll just look at Byron as the sun,
No,
and we're
John,
just
that's-
emanating outwards.
John, that's your job to keep track.
Well, in that case,
All
I'll
right,
write
this
it
is
down.
what we're going to do. No, it's fine. This is what we're doing. We're going to go. Oh, wait. Do I know what we're doing?
We start with number 10 and up, isn't it?
I don't know.
track.
Let me think about
Doesn't
this for a
matter.
minute.
If you got the Y&T graphic already up, go with Byron, then up to our special guest, Ivan, and then
Yep.
across around.
Yes, Byron, Ivan, Johnny, DC, Schnee,
And me.
and then over to John the Music Nut, and then
No,
me.
actually, make me last since I was late. I was tardy. That's my
Now you're making
All
it
right.
complicated.
God, this is going to take a half hour to determine what the hell we're doing. Byron, Ivan, I'm going to keep going screwing you up all the time, Yvonne.
Yeah, it's
But
okay.
Yvonne Lendl.
Yvonne,
not Alvin
Johnny
Portsky.
Metal, DC, John the Music Nut, me, and then Schnee.
okay.
Because you're like there on the Brady Bunch square. That's
He's like,
what
we're
are you
like?
looking at each other.
I'm always last.
Like?
And I have that written down. So
All right, thank you. Keep me in line because you know I'll lose it. So, and you're really good at keeping me together.
I'll
All right,
do my
let's start
best.
the show. All right, so what we've done, we want to hear from everybody in the chat. We'll
Man.
try to bring you in, everybody, as much as I can. This is going to be a mess, but a fun
wake up,
mess.
Andy. We're about to get going.
That's
For
right.
real.
So we're doing 1982. We've picked our top favorite tracks. Each one of us has picked 10. And we want to hear from you. Keep it loose, keep it fancy free, and you know how we do it in the warehouse. Anyway, let's start off with BM Bolt, and there's his first pick. Byron, go ahead. Start us
We
off.
got to do 3, 3, 4, right?
Three
picks.
3,
Three
3, and
picks.
4.
Okay.
3, 3, and 4.
Oh, so much. Okay.
All right, so I picked Forever. Let's move on to the next one. No.
Jiminy Christmas.
Hey, yeah. So, man, the intro to that song just gives you goosebumps, doesn't it? You know,
From the moon.
it's also the start of, I think, Open Fire on the beginning of the album. But it's so good they had to do it twice on here. And, you know, it's such a great song. I love that chorus. You know, they keep singing forever, forever. And, you know, Meniketti is such a good singer and wonderful guitar player. What I really love is how the end of the song, they were basically play the intro again. They kind of change it up just a little bit, but it's a great track, great album too. The whole album's so good. So my next pick, I'm gonna go off of this album.
Yeah, great record.
I'm gonna go with Slit Skirts. I've always loved that song, man. You know, it's about accepting the fact that, you know, you're not as young as you used to be and you can't really be that person anymore, and having to try to accept that you're getting older and just embracing that part of your life. And yeah, I just have always liked that song.
How old was Pete when he did this song, though? 35?
35-ish, but yeah, I mean, that's the song. It's like, you know, you can't, you know, you can't wear those slit skirts anymore, and he can't wear those ripped t-shirts like he used to. He's just getting old. So
thank you, Byron, for such an uplifting track.
yeah, you know, hey, I just turned 60, so, you know, I can, you know,
You look great.
I can embrace that too.
Did you have a good
You're a little
birthday?
kid compared to TC.
You never catch me.
It was an
You
all right
never
birthday.
catch me.
I never would.
DC just got out of his crypt this morning and crawled over to the computer.
Have you seen The Who live?
No, but I just saw Roger Daltrey about a month and a half ago,
Close enough.
and it was pretty good.
Close
Yeah,
enough.
Pete's brother Simon was his guitar player, and
Nice.
they did Going Mobile, and he said that Pete would never do that live, so his brother played it and sang it, and it was really good.
Why wouldn't Pete want to do that?
Pete
live?
didn't want to do it for some reason with the Who, he was saying. But yeah,
Hey,
so I
look,
saw
Jay's
Roger.
here. Jay's here, and he's on time. Good job, Jay.
I'm a big fan of Simon Townsend, that first album.
I've
But that
never
was
heard it. I
82.
remember when it came out.
I'd never heard it. I
It's
didn't
produced
realize
by
he was
Pete
that much.
and sounds like Pete.
Yeah,
Does it?
I always thought it was his son because he's so much younger, but it's his,
yeah.
his younger brother, way younger though. So
Mhm.
yeah,
See, Maureen, 68. She wears her tie. Good for you, Maureen.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Wear your colors. I like that. I hope you stick around in this channel because I like that. Yeah. All right. What's your next
my
one?
next one, I'm gonna go off the Hughes Thrall album. It's an album that we did a one and done
One
on,
and
right?
done. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the first track. I Got Your Number. I think this is probably the best album that Glenn has done post Purple.
It's right up there. I agree. Yeah.
And it's a rockin' fast track with a great solo by Pat Thrall, and Glenn is just in great form on this album. He's still in great form though, but he's really top notch on that album. So yeah,
Top notch.
that's my.
Isn't it astounding at what both players were at in their lives, and they turned out that gem of an album because. As a human being, they both weren't at the top of their game, but man, that album is a stunner. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's amazing they actually made such a great album considering the problems they were having. But they did. It's great.
Stephen David he's 64 and he can still put his socks on.
Atta boy.
Hey man.
Atta boy.
That's good. Here, Dawson Walters. We've got another thing coming, Judas Priest. Annie T, Let It Whip. The Daz Band, classic. Gary Joyce back on the chain gang. Yeah, young Logan is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Look in your eye off Hughes Thrall is so good. Young Logan, nice to see you tonight. Did you work today? Oh, Riggs, Marlon.
Riggs.
Bless your heart.
Great song. Great album.
Let's see. What did Tyler say? Donald Fagan, IG. This might show up.
That might show up.
Somebody was just telling me
Prog
about
Rock
that
dude,
song.
pretty sure Pete has gone on record saying Going Mobile is one of his least favorite Who tunes. So that might be the reason. God, it's such a great song now.
It is a great song. Got played on the radio or on FM radio here in SoCal all the time when it came out. You never hear it now.
No, they used to play it all the time. I don't know this track. Duke Jupiter, I'll Drink to You.
Heard of the band, not of the song.
All right, keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to pop over to our special guest. Well, we have two special guests, Stephen Schnee and Yvonne from Norway.
Yes.
Yvonne, let's
Yvonne
throw it
the
over to
Music
you.
Man. Yes, I will.
Yvonne the Music Man is here,
Yes,
ladies and gentlemen.
go and subscribe me. But first, we're talking about 1982, and music is memories. And in 1982, I was 16 years old. I was 17 years old, very, very late in December that year. So 16 years old, and of course, music and movies was my two big things, and it's still my two best things. So first, I will show 3 good movies from 1982, and this is a movie. I think it's very, very, very famous. Fast Timmer in Richmond High, and it's a lot of good music on this. And of course, Pink Floyd, The Wall, the movie was coming out in '82. I saw that on cinema, and the record is from '79. It was a big record. And of course, my favorite movie of all time, Blade Runner with Harrison Ford. This is my all-time movie. I never get bored. It's so good. And the music from Vangelis also is very, very good. So that was my little intro. And I'm from Norway, North Norway, and I like, of course, more pop, rock, disco, R&B music, not so much heavy metal music. And I was always into music list. I was a nerd. I was making all these lists from UK, Billboard, and Norwegian, and I write my own top 10 hits and every week. So I'm a little nerd into pop lists, music lists.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to have you here, Yvonne. What's your welcome aboard? What's your first pick?
Yeah, my first pick is number 10. It's from this album here. It's Roxy Music, and it's the album Avalon. And this album is one of the best albums from 1982. And of course, I could pick more songs from More Than This was a very big hit, and Take a Chance with Me, The Main Thing, India. But Avalon, the title track, I really like. And I get, when I listen to this, I get in a special mood. I'm going back to 82 and remember all the girlfriends and all the loves, everything. It's so good. This is very, very good. The best Roxy Music album ever.
I agree.
I'll tell you, real fast, Avalon, I think, is just like London Calling, that all these years later, each time I listen to it, and I'm talking, I've listened to them hundreds of times, it still gets better and better.
Yes.
Just incredible music.
I agree.
It is my favorite Roxy album. What a way to end a catalog.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Great. All right, what's your next one?
Number 9 is my favorite artist of all time. I have everything, not have everything, but I have every lot of this guy here, Prince.
Oh.
This is a special box, a 1999
You've
box.
got the box.
Very, very heavy box. It cost a lot of money. I have this and two other boxes, but Prince is my man. I saw him live in Oslo. He has 2 shows there. The first show this weekend was cancelled because we have this bomb. It was a crazy man who make a bomb and kill a lot of people. So it was postponed the concert, but 2 months after Prince had the concert, and I saw him live in Oslo, and that was so nice. So Prince is my favorite artist of all artists. And the song I have, this is it's a 12-inch. I have a lot of 12-inch records, and I love those because I'm a little DJ. Also, I have 2 red turntables, and I DJ a little bit. But this 1999 12-inch has 1999 on A side, and it's not a B side. It's a A side, and the song is Little Red Corvette, and that's my number 9 pick from the songs from 1982.
Excellent choice.
Great pick.
And one more.
Yeah, and this is an album. This is the album. This Friends of Mr. Cairo, John and Vangelis. This is the same album. They have 2 different covers, but it's the same album. And they have this song, I Find My Way Home, State of Independence. I think Donna Summer also had a version of that. The Mayflower, the Friends of Mr. Cairo, Back to School, Outside and Inside. This is like a movie. When you listen to this, and especially the song, The Friends of Mr. Cairo, it's a very long song. I think it's 12 minutes and 4 seconds. And John Vangelis, this album here is so good, and the Friends of Mr. Cairo song is so good. And John Anderson from Yes, of course, I love his voice. And this is an album I play a lot, and I never get bored of this. And the song it's like a movie. Song like a movie.
Excellent. All right, cool.
Excellent.
All right, Yvonne.
Very cool,
Excellent.
Yvonne.
Yes.
All right, let's throw it over to Johnny Metal. You're
All
up.
right. Well, for all those who are hoping I'm going to bring some metal tonight, well, I will do that. So my first 3 choices are probably going to be a little bit more obscure, maybe not big hits, but these are just songs I knew they came out in 1982, and they're just great songs. So my first pick, and I think I may have talked about this band once or twice in the Warehouse, but there's this little band out of around the Netherlands, and they were kind of called the first Dutch hard rock, first heavy metal Dutch band from that area. And I'm talking about this band here called Picture. And this is off of their 3rd album called Diamond Dreamer. And I went with the title track, Diamond Dreamer. Now, what do they sound like? Well, the singer they had for this, now he's got a really unusual name here. I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly. Shamaluik Avigal. It's an odd name. Rest his soul. He has passed away, unfortunately. But he just had, in my opinion, he had a voice that I think could have rivaled maybe Bruce Dickinson a little bit, maybe a little bit of Rob Halford. Very new album flavored. They just had their own kind of unique feel and sound. I liked them. I like Diamond Dreamer. I just thought that was just a wonderful little track. I love the riff. I just loved the guy's voice. It's a shame that he only did the 1 album with them. The management and him got into a kind of a fight, and he got kicked out of the band. But he kind of did his own thing for a while. But anyway, So there you go. So there's Logan. Thank you. I'm glad to see someone may know this album a little bit. My next song comes from a pair of Gallagher brothers, and to me, it's the set of Gallagher brothers that matters the most. I'm talking from Raven, and yes, that works perfectly because I kind of like the live version too. But in 1982, they came out with their Wiped Out album with a song, and I love the song called Live at the Inferno, which Grant has here, the live album, which came out a couple of years later, but I love that live version too. But that's just an amazing song. John Gallagher and Mark Gallagher just going nuts. It's a great live version too. Great song for anybody who doesn't know Raven. You can't go wrong with those first few albums. The last few things they've been putting out has been stellar. There's a lot of stuff in between that nobody knows about. That's awesome too. Another band that came out with an album in 1982 from the land of Japan. I don't have a physical copy of this, unfortunately, but Loudness from their Devil Soldier album. They have a song called Lonely Player. It just has a great riff, a great feel. I don't know what the heck they're singing because it's in Japanese, but it's such a great song anyway, because those early Japanese Loudness albums, to me, are just really strong albums, I think. I like them just as much as I like Thunder in the East. They have an extensive catalog. If you want to spend a lot of yen to try to pick them up, good luck, because you will need it. But it is Akira Takasaki is just amazing on guitar player. I watched him literally destroy Motley Crue in concert, opening for Motley Crue. As did John, because he was at that same concert. We just didn't know it at the time. But
Right.
Anyway, Lonely Player, anything off that Devil Soldier album is worth checking out. So
Awesome. Hey.
So there's some
you guys are
odd
on
picks,
fire.
not usual stuff. So
D Rocker's throwing out Camel Sasquatch. Do I have that? I don't know if I have anything from Camel that late. Eric Robinson, Loudness, yes. Raven, not so much. Eric Robinson, not a big Raven fan.
well, can't win them all.
It's all about talking music here in the warehouse, Eric, so it's all good. Metal, pop, disco, soul. Hey, I'm good.
It's all in the mix.
It's all in the mix. Blackout, great album. I've got that CD. Toto, Africa. Bobby Kimball is a friend, not doing well. Oh, Jeffrey G. Oh, I don't like to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
No.
There's some other track. You might see that tonight. The Fix. I think this Fix pops up. All right, we'll keep it moving. Let's throw it over to DC Tune Time. DC, you're up, my friend.
All right. As I've been doing every year since we've been doing this little exercise, I've been giving my overall impression of the year. And for 1982, as we move through this process, and although I have picked 4 songs from the Billboard Top 100 Singles for my personal top 10, the overall end of the year Top 100 for 1982 leaves me with a feeling of meh. The musical tastes of the general public were starting to move into areas that were not in my sweet spot. Too many cheesy keyboards, drum machines, and programmed rhythms. And I like my music to sound like it was created by humans and not R2D2 or C3PO. There were a fair amount of wall punchers in those hundreds, but there just were a lot of singles where I didn't care one way or the other. Not a whole lot on the singles chart was lighting a fire underneath my butt. But anyway, let's dive in with what has become a staple of my yearly lists, my Todd Rundgren pick. And he released the ever-popular Tortured Artist Effect on December 30th, 1982, just coming in under the gun. And the title track, or the first track of the album, is Hideaway. It's typical Todd pop rock tune with his great melodic vocal touches and instrumentation. And while I said I'm not as big a fan of the instrumentation and the early 80s tropes, the song has some of that, but it doesn't overwhelm the proceedings and lets his humanity shine through. And this is not one of my favorite Todd albums, but greatness is always to be found nonetheless. I think this was a contractual obligation album, if I'm remembering correctly, so that might explain some of that. My second choice, and as I mentioned, things were changing in the musical landscape, and not a lot of these changes agreed with some of my 70s favorites, who would never come back, and the few that would carry on, they did so in a way that I didn't really care for. One of these groups was Aerosmith, and for me, it was kind of the beginning of having to pick through their albums to find tracks that I really enjoy and liked. On this album, Rockin' a Hard Place, I debated between two songs that I feel were throwbacks to their 70s toys and rocks era. I didn't pick Sight for Sore Eyes, but went with Bolivian Ragamuffin, which both songs actually sound like they're an inverted Walk This Way in some sort of fashion. It is swanky and kind of funky. Great wordplay and delivery of the lyrics, which I like. And both of these songs are this way, but I flipped a coin and it went to Bolivian Ragamuffin. No Joe Perry or Brad Whitford here, but they carried on nonetheless. And there were a couple of gems on that album, but kind of like from there on, Aerosmith was very, very patchy for me. Whereas beforehand, I liked most everything on their albums. All right, my third pick for the first round is from the top 40 charts, and it was an example of embracing a bit of the stylistic changes of the era, yet retaining that human component, similar to what Todd did in an earlier pick. It's got a slight nod to that electronic drum beat, bass, and keyboard, but adds a flourish of traditional piano melody in the mix. And it's Joe Jackson with Steppin' Out.
A classic.
That's a good one.
Absolute classic.
It was also, one of the labels was called Sophistopop. So, and getting pop tunes like this to chart in that kind of style is rare. And I think even more rare for this era where it was so anti that kind of musical approach. And of course, that's from the album Night and Day, and that's my third pick.
It's a good one. When that album came out, my band teacher brought it in, and he was totally into this whole record. Would play it for like the class and everything. He was totally into this record.
Oh, it's like for a generation like my parents or my friends at the times, their parents, it was like that song would come on the radio, and they would always say, "Who is that? Who's that?" It was very much of a throwback to an earlier era, so hats off to Joe Jackson.
And it's an album that he ripped off Badfinger.
There you go.
What did he rip off?
Breaking Us in Two, because you know the song Day After Day goes, I remember finding out about you. His is Don't You Feel Like Trying Some. So it's basically
it's
the same melody.
That same line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to bring us down tonight. Wow, I never thought about that. But it's a classic.
But Steppin' Out is such a classic. Gosh, I loved it back in the day.
That whole album.
That video is just so iconic to me.
I enjoy all this April Wine conversation that's going on in the chat. I appreciate that. We like April Wine here in the Warehouse. Or at least I do.
Yeah.
Not enough people love April. Damn it, we do here. D-Rocker, this might pop up. Anything off of Alan Holsworth IOU. I don't think that's a good choice. I don't think anybody picked anything from that. Gloria by Laura Branigan.
Wow.
Schnee might have picked that.
That's a song I haven't thought of in a while.
Man.
And Ken White's here, so.
Man-Eater by Hall & Oates, very 80s soul. I think that's 83, though. Isn't it? Isn't H2O 83? Oh, God. Private Eyes, 81.
The album proper,
Voices
I
is
think.
80. Private Eyes is either 81 or 82. I thought
Private Eyes is
H2O was
81.
83. Okay, maybe it's 82 then. All right. All right, anyway, let's keep her moving. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Please leave a thumbs up if you haven't. It's just fun. Who knows how long this is going to go. We're just going to keep it loose and keep going. So up next, we're going to send it over to John the Music Nut. John, nice to see you. What's your first pick?
All right. So this artist was on fire in 1982, not just for his songs, but also playing Dr. Noah Drake on General Hospital. if you'd like to know more about this artist, check out Stephen Schnee, the CD Junkie, his channel,
Look at that.
where you find out
Oh.
how many albums that Rick Springfield really has. I didn't know he had like 34 albums. It's insane.
And that was before 1982.
Yeah.
Very
Anyway.
prolific.
Don't Talk to Strangers is my pick. It's Rick Springfield from Success Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet. This was his second biggest hit at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's pop perfection. It doesn't have that riff, that the great riffs that some of those songs from the 80s that he had, like Jesse's Girl or Affair of the Heart. But excellent track. Very well crafted.
Yeah, I love this record.
Great bridge on it too, by the way.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that and What Kind of Fool Am I are incredible.
Nice. Yes.
Great. Rick was on fire during this era.
Yes, he
I don't
was.
know if it was the cocaine or the women. I don't know what it was with Rick, but they were really on fire. That's all I'm going to say. All right, cool. What's your
Absolutely.
next one?
All right, number 9. Now, this artist was on fire in the 70s, and in the 80s, this band was still putting out albums pretty consistently and occasionally having pretty big hits. And this guitar player has a very distinctive tone. As soon as you hear Carlos Santana, you know it's him. The song I'm going with is Hold On from Django.
What about it?
Good one.
Thank you. This is a top 15 hit in 82. Excellent track. Carlos's solos on this are magnificent. Excellent vocal performance on here. It's just everything about it is in its right place. It is a wonderful song. And it is impossible for me not to have this in my 1982 list here. So that's my number 9. Santana, Hold On.
Good one.
Thank you. Number 8. Do you hear me? Do you care?
Great record.
Yes.
Schnee, I got your face
Person?
covered up.
And
That's
songs called Words. One of the greatest songs that did not hit the top 40, but was such a well-known track. This song kicks ass. I mean, and at this point, Missing Persons for about a year. They didn't have like a top 40 hit, but they were on the radio quite a bit. And yes, in the video, the video is very memorable for what the heck is her name again? I always get her mixed up with Terry Nunn.
Terry Nunn from
Terry
Berlin.
Nunn was in Berlin.
Terry
Dale
Bozio.
Terry
Bozio.
Bozio.
Oh,
Dale
Dale
Bozio.
Bozio.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dale
Dale
Bozio.
Bozio. Yeah,
Husband-
Terry's the drummer. Yeah.
Her husband was Terry, right? My bad. Sorry, Dale Bozio. Fantastic track. One of the great new wave
It's also a
songs.
clown. No, that's
That's Bozo.
oh, sorry.
That's Bozo. Yeah, that was good.
Bozio was a fist-a-clown.
Oh boy.
So many books on this.
Oh.
Great
Oh,
great
goodness.
track. One of the best of new wave, in my opinion. There you go.
That's a great one. I remember playing this album when it came out quite a bit in 1982. This is, heck, I was playing this in 83. I couldn't get enough of this record. I think there's not one weak song on it. I could take this to a desert island with me and I'd be just absolutely just fine.
Now, isn't
But-
Spring Session M? That's
An
what do you
anagram.
call that? Yeah, anagram.
Oh,
yeah.
look, I put
An anagram.
oh,
There
look,
you
I
go.
called this album Missing Persons. Grant. You know how many I have to tell a story when I was putting all these graphics together.
There he goes again.
There was so many graphics that I almost was falling asleep because I'm going, oh my God, there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And I did them all today. And I'm like, oh my
Fantastic.
God.
Well, we appreciate
And-
it, Grant.
And what was I going to say? I totally lost my train of thought. Alzheimer's is fucking kicking my
You were
ass.
falling asleep.
I was falling asleep, but I guess I wouldn't have paid attention very well either. I do want to mention now, when we're talking about these songs from 1982, you know, all these picks that everyone brings up, when I look at these, I don't think that any of these are oldies in my brain. Because I was there when they came out. I still look at all this stuff as being current. Still. I still think of it as current. Do you? Does the panel feel that way?
Absolutely.
I don't. I'm pretty old though.
DC, I guess that's the point where you're DC's age, and it doesn't
Yeah,
seem
it
current.
seems long time ago.
Yeah, but remember when DC was in high school, that's when Rudy Valley was in the top of the charts.
You had to wind up the Victrola to get your music.
Really, DC? Is there any? What do you consider current stuff that's really current, or what? What? I'm
Yeah,
just
all the
curious.
stuff I hate. I like a good portion of this, so I know it's not current in my brain because I hate so much of
Well,
what
do you,
constitutes pop
I
music
don't want to
these
go on a
days.
tangent, but I'm curious. Now, if you
Yes.
listen to like Grand Funk or something from the '70s or something
Yes,
when you were
sir.
in high school, do you consider that sounding current? Do you
No.
find that it ages?
I still love it, but I mean, it's of an era that is so far in the back rear window to me. I can't look at it as current. I still love it. To me, it doesn't sound dated, but
but
it's
let's
not
say-
current.
Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Let's say it popped up on the radio.
It's
I
all
wouldn't
back.
think twice. I think, yep, that's in my brain. It's still current. Just something that pops up in the radio from the '80s. I think that with anything from the '80s, it's weird.
I mean, look, when I listen to music, it's I don't have that that feeling of like, oh, this is old, this is new. I mean, I put together stuff for Schnee TV, and to me, that's almost all new. The last couple of years, but to me, it seems like it fits right in there with the stuff we're talking about today.
Yeah.
My mind sort of lumps it together like that.
I did not pick any Hunt tonight. I coulda, but I did not. We've talked about the Hunt so much. I don't want to overdo it. I could have picked the Hunt.
You
We
gave the
played
people
Hunt
what
last
they
night.
You gave the people what they wanted, Grant. They've been clamoring for the Hunt for these many months, all summer, and you finally delivered.
We did it.
But guys, remember that music help us to remember things that we have done before. So that's a very good facilitator. I love this when I listen to some music track on the radio, and then I remember what I was doing then and where I were, and so that's a good thing with music.
All right, so I'm up. My first one. This is an album. This is a Desert Island album. This album, when I heard it, I remember we were at someone's house. Good friend that I haven't seen for years, and her brother had a boom box, and they lived in a giant old Queen Anne. It might even be, I don't know if it's huge. It had servant stairs. It had a big parlor upstairs, gigantic house. But her brother wasn't there, but he had a fabulous cassette collection. Huge. You remember back in the day, I know we're on a tangent, but we're just going to shoot the shit. You remember back in the day when they had big, huge cassette cases, big ones, and they'd all go down in slots. He had all these new wave albums, Split Ends, you name it, anything like punk, new wave, all this at the time, we're talking 82, it was all new wave stuff. A lot of it I hadn't heard because I was in beautiful Marion, Ohio, which no one played any of that stuff. I was lucky to hear anything like that. He had a cassette in there from a band. Well, let me just pop it up. Duran Duran.
There you go.
This album, when I played it, put this in his it was a big boom box. It's the good old days, kids. He had a fabulous boom box, and it just sounded great. Oh God, I wish I could have a time machine to go back there. Duran Duran Rio. I put that in, and the track Rio popped up. Like
Grant,
Yvonne, of course.
this is the case you're talking about. All music cassettes.
Yes. Of
From
course,
the good old
Yvonne's
days.
I had a
represented.
wooden case with about you could put 100 of them in there. So yeah.
Case Logic used to have one that was called a 138.
That's it.
It was 64 on one side. Had a handle. 64 on one side. You close it up, turn it around, open the other side, another 64.
It's like that, something like that. But this guy, I had never met him. I don't know where her brother was. I never ever met the guy, but he had a fabulous collection and a fabulous boom box, a big one. and we just had a good time. And I put this in, and Rio was the first song, and it was like, I don't know who this band is, and it was like the skies parted. I've never heard anything like it. But Save a Prayer off this album is a true gem, absolutely brilliant. This album is brilliant. This is their peak. They were never ever able to do this again. Production, sequencing, songwriting, everything is just perfect.
The best
This
pop album. Very good.
Yeah, I totally got it, but that's how I learned about it. And it just totally, it was just like one of those moments, and I've talked about that before, where you hear something and it just changes your whole trajectory. But anyway, we went through that. He had so much split ends. Like, that was the first time I ever heard split ends. Fabulous. Oh my God, I'll just never remember that. I just remember that period. I absolutely loved it. There was a certain special moment in time, you know, when you're that age. You know, what was I, maybe 17? I was probably 16. You know, everything's still new. Everything, you take all this music in. So
You were
I
right
still
in-
hear this stuff as current. In my brain, it's still current. So there you go.
There's
I
an
wanna
age in
understand
someone's life, probably from 12 to 22 or 24, your musical sweet spot, and now that music of that time stays with you for the rest of your days and really directs your tastes and where you go from there. At least
there
that
you
was
go.
for me.
There you go. I took you back to 1982.
Yeah, me and Grant, we have the same age. And Duran Duran is still a good group. They have a good songs, good album and everything. I saw them live 2-3 years ago. They still have good shows. So
I saw
they're
them
still
on
good.
the Seven and the Ragged Tire tour. Tiger.
I saw them 3
tire.
years
What I
ago.
say, tire?
That was the beginning of this long and drawn out end.
Right. But that was a great show, man. They were great live. And I like that album. That album that's a good record, but that
New
was
Moon on Monday is one of my top 3 favorite Duran songs.
great song. Great
I like
song.
Duran
All right.
Duran. That's a very good group.
Well, there you go. I've spent 10 minutes talking about my life. So there you go. My number 2, I'm going to go with a band from Athens, GA, which I think is absolutely fabulous. Now, this was produced by, David Byrne. Now, I think this was supposed to be an album, but it only came out as an EP, but I think it's absolutely brilliant. It should get much more notoriety than it does, and I'm going to go with B-52's Mesopotamia, the title track, Mesopotamia. I absolutely love this EP. I wish there was more. I like all the tracks on it. I like the B-52 stretching out, being more experimental, and I think what David Byrne brought to the production, I think it's absolutely wonderful. Now,
agree.
I do believe that there's a best of greatest hits album, and I cannot remember which one, but I need it in the collection because there's a bonus track that is from the Mesopotamia sessions that didn't make it on here. And I'm going to have to, it just makes me think about it that I need to get that. But I think Mesopotamia is brilliant.
Is it the 2 CD thing?
I think. But there's a Mesopotamia track on it. Schnee's going to go over into the library now and pull that for us. Do some research and do you have? I can't remember. Show us what that is. Show us the CD you brought up.
Well, there's a song called Queen of Las Vegas, Mesopotamia outtake version.
That's it. Well, Queen of Las Vegas isn't on this, so that's it. That's the track. I need that.
Yeah, it's on. This is the 2 CD.
Yeah.
It is called Nude on the Moon. There's a single disc version of this called something with like Generation in the title. But this is the full 2 CD set.
All right, cool. Excellent. Well, there you go. I need that for my Mesopotamia. I'm a completist. All right, so my number 3, I'm going to go with, well, DC's already, DC's already mentioned Todd Rundgren, but I'm going to mention Utopia, which I think this is a fabulous track. Lestrada from God, I cannot talk tonight. Lestrada from Swing to the Right, 1982. This album was shelved for a year because Bearsville had the burr up their ass, and they actually went and re-recorded some things on here and remixed it. I don't know. They weren't happy with it. I think it's a great Utopia album. But Lestrada, fabulous track. Absolutely fabulous. Checks all the boxes for me.
Yep.
So that's my number 3. Exactly. All right. So let me see what people are saying. This is going to take forever. We got 75 people in. Last night we hit up to 100 on the
Nice.
show. We had 100 with Rachel. It was freaking, we had oh my God, we did 1970s listening party. Freaking the listening parties are getting bigger and bigger. And I appreciate everybody who's been there on those listening parties. It's fun. This is kind of a continuation.
So very good show yesterday. Yeah,
Thank you,
very
appreciate
good. I love
Hey,
it.
there's a D Rocker, the buzz. Get up, get angry. That buzz is good. What did Jeff say? Jeff makes you start at 3 a.m. Well, listening parties where it's at. Thanks. All right, well, let's keep it moving. I'll get to more of you people in the chat. I appreciate everybody here. You have no idea. There wouldn't be a show without you. Of course, I would just do this by myself and just twiddle my thumbs. All right, let's throw it over to Schnee. Schnee, what you got?
First off, unlike Old Man Logan DC, 1982 is my absolute favorite year for music. You know, I've got my Ski Lodge show Tuesdays on my channel, which
Better
covers
mention Schnee TV while you're at it.
yeah, Schnee TV, of course. But I have, you know, because look, 1982 is incredible. Like I'm sure that everybody here on this panel felt this way, that I pulled these 10 tracks out of at least 150.
Right.
I could not decide. So I just almost randomly picked songs because I love, you know, I graduated from from high school, 1982. That was the year I think DC became a grandfather. And I don't know why.
Is that true, DC?
A little later than that.
DC, how old were you when you had your first child? When did you have your first child? I
But
don't
Schnee,
know
you were
any-
Late,
16.
late 80s.
Okay.
But Schnee, you were 16 in 82, was you?
In 82, I was 18 going on 19. No. Yeah, no, 18. I was 18.
Okay.
17 going on 18.
So you're a little older
But-
than me and Grant.
Yeah, it was you know, I
Just
was still
barely.
full of just absolute passion for music. I still am. Obviously, everybody knows that. But back then, you know, there was still that innocence, you know, surrounded
Yes.
by my friends, playing records for each other all the time. And just getting really excited and hearing stuff on KROQ, being exposed to, you know, living in Orange County, just taking my Jack in the Box paycheck and going up to Aaron's and Renee's in Hollywood and just hitting the 29-cent and 99-cent bin and buying whatever the hell looked interesting. I wasn't buying stuff because it got played on the radio, although there was some stuff. I was buying stuff because, oh my gosh, that's on Polydor. That's the same label as Bram Tchaikovsky or New Adventures. Or I bought, stuff just because it was produced by this person, just because it was this or that, just because the guys on the cover had skinny ties, just because the band's name started with the, or just because that hairstyle is so ridiculous, I have to check this out.
Which
I
format?
love-
Which format, Schnee? Which format? What, cassette
Back then it
or-
was a vinyl. I
Vinyl.
never bought cassettes. I made cassettes. And you know, mixtapes to woo the ladies. It never worked, but damn it, they were good mixtapes.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
I agree.
But
I still have
1982.
some of mine.
I have
Mixtapes I
two.
made in the 90s.
Yes,
I've got
I have.
like 7 of them.
I have them also.
So we're going to go by 10. We're going to start with number 10, obviously. This is a track from a band that introduced me to this whole new wave, power pop, whatever. I was, you know, Beatles, Monkees, Glenn Campbell, Osmonds, Jackson 5, Queen. And I stayed up because the show was going to play the new Queen video. But before that, you had to sit through opening acts, which included The Clash, Kate Bush, It was either Liar, and then this band, The Jam. And I picked the song Ghosts. Now, it was a toss-up between this or Town Called Malice. Ghosts is a wonderful, slower track by the band, but it is so incredible. The lyrics are amazing. Bruce Foxton's bass playing is amazing. It's got great horn section on it. It is, it's, like I said, one of their most metal tracks, but it just packs this powerful punch in just a matter of minutes. It's incredible. I love that album. That's the tour that I saw them on. And I was lucky because it was the last tour. And they were an incredible band. They opened my eyes. Because of The Jam, I started listening to all the stuff, this new wavy type stuff. And my search for the lost chord continues to this day. But that's why I picked The Jam Ghosts. My number 9, and what's his name? The guy with the hat, not DC or Yvonne, the other guy, the host, Grant.
Oh, yeah.
Grant and I just talked about this band the other night. The Fix, and their debut album, Shuttered Room, the song Stand or Fall.
Great.
Incredible song. Moody. Again, far more serious than, I like music that either sounds fun, that's a little brighter, that's why I never got into Bauhaus or any of the darker bands, but I love music that's brighter, or music I think with purpose and passion, and that right there, purpose and passion, explains the Fix to a T. And they are still amazing today. Definitely on Grant's channel, go back and watch Grant and I ranking the Fix albums. Incredible, wonderful. And my third one, number 8 in this list. Remember, this is stuff I can't believe it. I'm looking down and I go, oh my God, I didn't add that. I didn't add that. Wow. This show could go on for 4 hours, and these other guys
probably still will.
You can have a solo show.
I know, exactly. But anyway, in fact, I'll stop it. Depeche Mode.
We might have to split this up into 2 shows.
Tune in next week for 5 through 1.
Yeah.
It's really not so much the ranking. It's just about everybody talking music and everybody in the comments talking music.
Like leave a cliffhanger like the old Batman show. I gotta tune in next week. Same bat time.
Number 5.
No, but Depeche Mode, See You. It is probably their least popular album. It's my favorite Depeche Mode album, but that's all because of memories. I'm an emotional listener, and everything I listen to is all related to some kind of memory I have. That's my favorite Depeche Mode album cover, one of my favorite album covers, period. And definitely my favorite Depeche. Well, that and Get the Balance Right are my 2 favorite Depeche Mode songs. And then those are my 3.
Hey, Vic, go ahead.
Since I've already talked about the 80s, now excited, I'll make sure that I keep it much shorter next time. I mean,
and Depeche Mode is a very good group. I've seen them live also. They're still good. The songs are good and everything. I love them.
I want to welcome Victor to the channel. I haven't seen Victor. He doesn't have a wrench. I'll have to give you a wrench.
I love the Pistols.
Oh, I love the Sex Pistols. We played Sex
Absolutely.
Pistols last night. Phenomenal. We played EMI. Tune in. The listening party is up there. It was good. So always check it out. It's just fun, for God's sake. It's a great record. Not a bad song on it. All right, cool. Thank you, Mr. Schnee. I appreciate those picks. Excellent. All right, let's throw it over to BM Bolt. You're up.
I'm back.
Back in business.
Here, he's finally up.
No, this is my second time around. So.
Oh, I know, but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
At Shalimar.
Yeah, I actually had trouble picking.
Second time around.
Oh yeah.
Number 7.
That makes me nervous because I have no idea what that song is. Okay.
You'd know it.
I probably.
So yeah, I had trouble coming up with 10 songs. Not that there weren't 10 great songs. I couldn't find 10 songs I absolutely loved. Does that make sense? I found there was lots of songs I liked, but I couldn't. There weren't 10 songs. It was like, oh my God, that's definitely on my list. But
I had that problem. I had part of that problem when I normally grab a bunch from the top 100 of the year. This year I'm with you, Byron. It was just like I'm going through the whole list of 100, and there's only 2 or
I don't
3 that
even look at
really
the
flip
top
my
100.
switch. I always use that to start my
Yeah.
thinking process.
Well,
Anyway.
you were a great grandfather in '82, so you know.
I was busy, hey, changing diapers
know.
and such, and
That's a big difference. Big difference. If you was busy with kids, it's not so easy to remember all the good songs.
I want to talk about a band here who I think really evolved from their first album to this album. I know Grant prefers their first couple albums.
I prefer the first album.
Okay. I prefer the third and the fourth. The fifth is pretty damn good too. But I think this is their best album. And I love Private Investigations. They kind of started pulling in a little prog at this point. Well, even a little bit on Making Movies, but Private Investigations it's this relaxing, moving. There's this drama to it. It's almost new agey at times with the acoustic guitars. It's just so laid back. I just love that track. So that's going to be one of my picks there.
It's good.
I agree. That was bubble under my list. That's a song. I agree.
I like all the Dire Straits stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I think that there's something about the debut album, the interplay between the Knopfler brothers playing guitar, the Strat sounds on those, it's absolutely, when I think great Fender Strat sound, I think the first Dire Straits album, and I think it's simple. It's not elaborate. It's just guitars.
I prefer when they got a little more elaborate. But
I don't.
I like
getting good mood. This is a good mood especially for the after summer. It's a good to listen to this music because it's moody and I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Okay, so my next pick.
Next one.
I've seen a couple people mention this track already. I'm going off of Blackout. I'm going with No One Like You. This is the very first song I ever heard by Scorpions that I can remember.
Me too.
Really?
And I thought, wow. The way, they start out this song with a guitar solo, basically, over the
intro.
The intro is a guitar solo over the chorus guitar chords. And, the only way you can top that is to have another guitar solo later, which is, over the same guitar, same sequence. But, it's just kind of a good power ballad. And, it's the first thing I ever heard by them. And I just was like, wow, these guys are great, So I love that track from the moment I heard it. And so my next one. Okay, so I got to go with Gary Moore because Gary Moore was my guy. I started losing a little interest after 20 years of the blues albums or so, but he was my guy. 80s, most of the 90s. I'm just going to pick Always Gonna Love You. I could have picked a couple other things off here, but that track really got him a little bit of airplay in the U.S. His first real taste of any kind of notoriety here. It's just a great power ballad, and Gary's solo on there it's got his typical melodic, emotional, fiery playing. So, I'm going to go with that off of that album.
Good one.
Nice.
Good one.
Love Gary Moore, man.
Excellent. All right. Well, now we're going to pop over to Yvonne. Yvonne, what's your next three?
Yeah, we are in 82, and in 82 I was listening to cassettes, and this is of course a Walkman. It's it can splash in the water. Yeah, Walkman Sport, very expensive if you buy it today. But I was listening to cassettes, and in 82 I was doing gymnastic, and we was going to a town 2 hours from my town, and we took a bus, and of course we listened to music on this Walkman, and I was listening to one guy that have two albums. The first album was from 81. This is Phil Collins. And the second album was from 82. This is the two best Phil Collins albums. And of course, we are in the year 82, so I must talk about this. And this cassette, these two cassettes, I was playing them the whole time, back and forth. And when I got to this town and do this gymnastic, it was also girls there, and I was fall in love with one girl I know her before, but when we were there at the competition, we broke up, and after that I played the song I don't care anymore the whole time. I don't care anymore the whole time back from that town back to my town, 2 hours on repeat. I
did something like that.
So when I listen to this, I remember the story, everything, the bus drive, the girl, everything. So that's my number 7.
Same thing, going. Oh my God! And I was playing. The song that I was playing was "Can't Stand Losing You" by the Police.
Oh boy!
Over and over again on the bus, and she was sitting up further up.
Oh.
So it's music and memories, but
I worked it.
Yeah, that was number 7. Number 6 is one of my favorite groups. Is Fleetwood Mac. And this Mirage album here, it's also alternative Fleetwood Mac. They come also in a big box. I have this big box also with all alternative Fleetwood Mac albums. And Fleetwood Mac, I really, really love. They made so good music. And the song I was talking about is Wish You Were Here. That's also a song that I used when I was... fall in love with girls, and I wish she was there and everything. So when I listen to this song again, I remember all the good old days in '82. But
the
that's a slow
fan clubs in the house.
Yeah. So that's a slow, very, very nice. I think it's the last song on the B side. But "Wish You Were Here" is my my number 6 on the list.
Yep.
Does everybody have their copy of the new Lindsey Buckingham box set?
Yes, I bought it from.
Okay,
it's not out in Europe, so I bought it from Reno in America, and they sent it to me. So I got it. So it's nice.
Okay, good.
I have nearly everything from Fleetwood Mac.
Tell me it's the box set, but what's in the box?
It's the first 3 albums plus a bonus disc with like 8 non-album tracks. Like one of them is Holiday Road. There's there's about I think like 4 non-album tracks and then like 4 remixes.
Yeah, and a big picture of Lindsey Buckingham.
I need a big picture of Lindsey.
Yeah.
It's available on 4 CD or 4 LP.
Yeah. And it is a little tragic because I had a ticket to Lindsey Buckingham and it should play in Oslo, the big city in Norway, but he canceled the show twice. So I think he's a little sick. I think he's not healthy. So
yeah, he's had a lot of issues on the last couple of years, and he just can't seem to get himself righted. So
that's a tragedy because I love Lindsey Buckingham, and I collect all the solo projects from all the Fleetwood Mac people also. So Fleetwood Mac is one of my guilty pleasure group. And number 5 is of course one of the best pop albums ever, Duran Duran, and the song I picked from the album is Hungry Like the Wolf. But I could pick Rio, I could pick New Religion, Save a Prayer, The Chauffeur. It's so many good songs on the Rio album. And Duran Duran, they still make albums and they still good live. So that was my number 5 pick.
Excellent pick, Yvonne. I like you because you picked. There's 2 Duran Duran, 2 for Duran Duran tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Duran Duran leads the pack so far.
They lead the pack. All right, let's throw it to Johnny Metal. What's your next 2?
Well, it's a shame you're talking about having a Walkman. I don't think I had one until about 85 or so. And you guys are singing like "Can't Stand Losing You," and what was the song you were singing, Yvonne?
Wish You Were Here.
Wish You Were Here. Okay, so
these
you
poor women.
So you guys are singing those kind of songs in your Walkman. I was probably singing "Animal" from Wasp. So
okay,
there you go.
That's a nice.
You were an angry young man. It was angry young man.
Pretty much.
I remember walking around the OSU campus back in the late '80s with my Walkman, listening to the first 2 Syd Barrett solo albums.
Oh,
I remember it like distinctly sitting in the hallway waiting for class to open, and I'm sitting there listening to Octopus. I remember it like it was yesterday. It's so funny.
Oh boy. All right. Well, anyway, when I hear some snaps going,
Queen?
Billy Squire, Everybody Wants You. That was a great song. I love that one. You couldn't get away from Billy Squire on whether it was on the radio or MTV or and there's your cassette for all the cassette people.
Had that.
But man, I'll tell you, Don't Say No and Emotions Emotion. These were both just stellar albums. Very, very good. But yeah, Everybody Wants You. I love them. All right, next one. Okay, this is my non-metal section, kind of, sort of. But
this is Johnny New Wave, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Now I'm going to go to Johnny New Wave a little bit. So, I believe Steve, you were mentioning something about the Fix and how more serious they sounded when they were talking in their music, even though they weren't maybe a heavy metal or hard rock sound. To me, there was something about when I saw the video for this song that there was something very driving about the song. And there was something about the lyrical content. It wasn't this poppy, happy-go-lucky stuff. Now, this was some serious stuff. Yeah, I'm talking the title track from Talk Talk's first album, just called Talk Talk. I love that song. Even as a metal guy, when I remember seeing that video on MTV back in the day, there was something about, forgive me, I can't think of the singer's name off the top of my head, but
Mark Hollis.
Thank you, Mark Hollis. Yes, I don't know. There was just an intensity when you watch that video of seeing him saying, "All you do is talk, talk." There's an intensity about that song, and there was no guitars in that thing. It was just a heavy, everything about that song. I thought it was a great song. So I was a closet Talk Talk fan, even though I was a metal guy.
I remember being in high school.
Good music's good music, John.
It's hope for you too.
Yeah, I remember being in high school, and somebody had seen Talk Talk open for an artist. They were the opening band, and they were talking. They go, "It was weird, man. They didn't have any guitar players up on the stage. They had a bass player, but they were like kind of freaked out that there was no guitar player in Talk Talk." And I'm just going, "Oh, I mean, I would have loved that, just as much as if they did have a guitar player."
Yeah.
But yeah, they freaked people out. The more mainstream people.
Yeah. Yeah. And then musically, they just became kind of different as like the third album or so, I think it was. But
my theory is they became the Radiohead of the 80s, because by the time you got to the last Talk Talk record and the first Mark Hollis solo album, which is just an extension of the last Talk Talk record, it's out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
they sat down and said, "You know what? We're not going to write any more melodies."
Just very sparse. But
it's like it's just like Radiohead. So
yeah. So I before I give you my number 5 pick, for everybody in the comments, you all are just everybody. I agree. There could be like 300 or 400 songs that could come out tonight, and there's probably a lot that I should pick. Like I'm sure a lot of people were expecting me to pick something from Iron Maiden or Judas Priest or Kiss or Accept or something like that. But instead, I'm actually with my number 5 pick, I'm gonna go back to my hometown of Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Look at you.
Allentown's my hometown, and I'm a Lehigh Valley boy. And the cool thing about that song was, the people in Lehigh Valley, they started up a big petition to try to get Billy to come play at this arena in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, called Stabler Arena, which it wasn't a big arena by any stretch of the imagination. And I think he really was hesitant in doing it, but hey, he did it. And my brother went to the show, and he had a camera with him, and he really got a nice picture of him on stage. So it was a very cool moment. I was very glad for Allentown to get Billy, because it was, even though the song isn't a very happy song about Allentown, hey, it's still my hometown. So
and it encapsulates that whole area, John,
yes,
because I'm from Youngstown, Ohio, and it's the same thing there. Steel workers, hard-nosed, blue-collar type people, and man, they fell upon some really hard times starting in the early to mid-'70s. So
Yeah, they did.
yep.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Have you seen Billy Joel live? He's only playing in Madison Square Garden because he don't like to fly. And
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
you haven't seen him live?
I've never seen him.
I have. Other than Todd Rundgren, I think I've probably seen Billy Joel the most of anyone. That's going on like 10 or 11 times over the years.
I'm a big fan. I love the song Allentown, and I don't understand all the hate for Billy Joel in the VC, so I just ignore it.
I like him too. I have every records of him. I like Billy. I've never seen him live, but I want to go to New York and see him. But maybe this year or next year.
Yeah, do it. Steve, what do you think of Chemistry? I love it too. I'm not sure Chemistry.
Rush.
Chemistry. What was that?
I don't.
Rush.
Oh,
I thought you meant like chemistry, like with a lady.
what DC was doing
the
back
only-
in the disco.
No. The only Chemistry I know
Voice number 6.
is Mondo Rock.
Night Ranger, don't tell me you love me. DC 11. Wow.
Yep.
Well, DC's like that. It's like one big hormone. All right, cool. Yvonne, was that your third one?
That was my
John,
third
that
one.
was your third one?
That was my
All
third
right.
one. Yes.
All
Yeah.
right, let's throw
All right,
over
Mr. Possum,
to.
man.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right.
DC, you're up.
When we last left old DC, he was yammering on about the jazz pop of Joe Jackson. So let's carry on that tangent. And my next pick is going to be Donald Fagen's IGY, What a Wonderful World. And like my Aerosmith track, that could have been this song or Walk Between Raindrops, which was not a hit, but I love that song. I'm an upbeat guy. It doesn't show here when I appear on Grant's Rock Warehouse, but I'm generally an upbeat kind of guy.
Oh,
Not as surly as I present myself.
could have fooled me.
But the thing is, this is another pop song that could have been of any era, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. It's not beholden to all the trappings that didn't resonate with old DC back in the early 80s. Love the song. So that's my next pick. Going from there.
Donald Fagen is so good. That album
yeah.
is so good, very good. I've seen him live also, Steely Dan with Donald Fagen, and
Yeah.
so it's.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see Fagen and Becker about a year or so before Fagen passed, or before Becker
Same.
passed away.
Same for me.
Yeah.
Same for me. I
Me
saw
as
them.
well. Yeah, all three of us, I guess.
Four
I
of us
featured
just
this.
gone to two.
I featured this next pick on one of Grant's Sunday night listening parties, and we're gonna go with Pat Travers' "I'm Gonna Kick Booty" from the
Great
album
track.
Black Pearl.
Track.
It is a kick-ass, sizzling, jazzy, and slightly funky instrumental. Now, it's mostly instrumental. There is a minor vocal part there, but the counterplay between Pat's guitar and whoever's playing the piano figure is so great on that song. And Pat really has a real knack for creating these instrumentals that never get boring and really hold your attention. It's pretty sophisticated and it kicks ass. All right, for my last pick of this go round, let's go with a female-fronted group with a haunting and bittersweet pop song that could also fit in any area. It's the Motels with Only the Lonely, with the vocals by the great Martha Davis.
Yep.
And I also loved her duo with Fee Waybill of the Tubes on Monkey Time. It's just an upbeat, happy song, and that's the way I am, folks. Not as surly
upbeat
as you
and
might
happy.
think.
Happy guy. That's nice. That's nice.
That's me. All right, I'm done for this round.
All right, cool. Let's throw it over to John the Music Nut.
Okay. Now, this song came out a year earlier in the UK because this fantastic trio from Long Island, New York, got loved in the UK before they got love in the States. But this is the Stray Cats, and I'm not going with one of their hits. I'm going with the dangerous yet
Great
catchy
record.
as sin, Rumble and Brighton. Fantastic track. I think this is the best thing that they've ever done. And later on, Brian Setzer would re-record this with the Brian Setzer Orchestra on their second album, Guitar Slinger. This is just a killer track. The guitar work on here is magnificent. they lay down a great groove on here. Slim Jim Phantom and Lee Rocker. Wonderful song. This is my number 7, Rumble and Brighton.
Excellent.
He made a good Christmas album some years ago also, Brian
Yes,
said.
they did.
Mm.
That's right. Number 6. To me, this is a near perfect song. And this could have been released in 1958 and would have been a huge hit. And it should have been a huge hit here in the States, but it just grazed the top 40. And it's the only big hit this artist about Marshall Crenshaw with Someday, Someway off his self-titled debut. And this whole album is fantastic.
What a jam.
Boom.
Yeah.
So many gems on this album.
Yep.
But,
I
oh
saw
my God.
Mark the Field Day tour
Oh,
in
nice.
83. Yeah, great.
I saw him much later. I saw
I
him.
did too. Mitch Easter was playing bass in the band.
Oh, nice.
It was great.
That's
Yeah,
Field
go
Day.
ahead. Sorry. I love Marshall Crenshaw. His
Marshall
promo
Crenshaw's
posters-
awesome.
I've never
he's
heard
right
about
there.
this. Never heard about this guy. Or
It's
girl.
No?
incredible. It's so
Yeah.
just great guitar pop.
It's American.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not was
Yeah.
not hot in Europe, I think.
Oh, it's a phenomenal record.
Okay.
It is.
Yvonne, you would love it. It's just
I
that
checked-
album is rock solid, first
I-
track to last track.
I've write it up
Yeah.
here. I'll check it out.
It's fantastic. I saw
Yvonne's going to
him.
be spending money here tonight, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen.
yes.
I
Anyway,
saw
sorry,
him
John.
do a show. It was a trio show. It was him, Jonathan Edwards, and Garland Jeffries, and they were all doing acoustic versions of their songs, and it was fantastic, great show. And I saw him again on his own. I saw him with the Smithereens because after Pat Denizio died,
Mm-hmm.
he's been doing some appearances with the Smithereens. He's been doing the vocals along with Robin Wilson from Gin Blossoms. Oh yeah, Marshall Crenshaw's a gem.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, the
my
first
number.
couple albums, but that first album is just amazing. Go ahead. So I'm
Yes,
sorry.
absolutely.
I
Thank
love Field Day and this record equally, I think. I love them both.
Okay, my number 5. This was by far the biggest hit this artist had in the States, and you got to go with the album version with the long intro, with the helicopter and the video game sounds, and then that guitar coming in right at you. Very poppy, but it's got a new wave sound. It's really heavy too. Aldo Nova, Fantasy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that song.
couldn't escape this song in 82.
You could not get away from it. No
All
way.
if you went to the pool when you were a kid, it played constantly. 1982, the whole summer was this song.
But if you ask me, that's the only song I like. I didn't like so much the other songs on that album, but that's me. But it was popular
I like
here in
it.
Europe also.
Most of the songs are very similar.
They are like the rest of the
Very
album's
similar.
pretty good, and you can.
I like them.
It's a good album. Like it's Bon Jovi before Bon Jovi, but probably a little more keyboard. But the title song is insane.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
He had a recipe, and he stuck to that recipe pretty close on those first couple albums.
Yes, he did.
Subject's a good record. Now that
That's
one
the one with
record,
Monkey
the one
on
with
Your
the
Back.
Miami Vice, yeah, the one with the Miami Vice cover. Yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
Not Subject. Oh,
okay.
It's okay. It's not really. It's like let's try to get a hit. And I don't think Aldo really liked that record at all either. So you know, it was a record company thing. So anyway, is that your third one?
Yes, it is.
Number 5. All right, cool. Oh, excellent. All right, let's jump over to me, and I'm gonna go with. Let's see. Okay. Well, someone's already mentioned this, but not this track. This is one of those bands that yes, I knew of them at the time. I didn't really dive in, but later on, I started to listen to them like a couple years ago, and I realized the brilliance of the wonderful Martha Davis. And I'm going to go with, if it pops up, come on. Motels, Take the L off All for One. Lyrically, I mean, come on. The way it plays, take the L. God, absolutely.
Out of love and it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. It's just absolutely
Yeah.
stunning. Melody, the production, and even they put, I think, what on Omnivore. Is that who released it? The original album.
Oh, the
Schnee knows
Apocalyptico or
about
something?
that. The Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypso or something like that. Yeah, Apocalypso,
which
that's
is
what
a
it is.
track on here.
Yeah.
But they submitted the album. It got rejected by Capitol, and what didn't Val Garrett? He produced that too, but Capitol did not like what they've got.
Yeah.
It's a great record as it was, but they went through, re-recorded some things, polished it up basically, and submitted it as all for one. And that's the record we know. But Omnivore, I don't know, Steve, what year they probably put that out? You remember when they released that? I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's been at least 5 years.
Yeah, Apocalypso. Get it. If you like the
Yeah.
Motels.
Yeah, they're from
I think
LA,
it's
I see.
still-
Yeah, the first album. I remember the first album from '79.
But Steve, you remember when they were playing the clubs back then? Were they like a big? They were like a big deal, weren't they?
Yeah, but they were. I don't remember seeing them around too much. Like once, like the second album came out, because it seemed like that's when things really started picking up, and I think they started doing more national tours and stuff. But God, when like the second album, like Danger, came out, that got played on K Rock. That's still my favorite Motel song. Danger. But
Yeah, that's a good one.
just
Yeah.
absolutely
Was it
wonderful band.
I don't know if
Careful.
there's a
It
weak
was
album
Careful?
in the bunch.
It
What-
was
Yeah,
Sorry,
Careful I
Yvonne,
think was
what?
the second album. Yeah,
Careful was the second album. Yeah.
yeah.
Good one. So anyway, that's my first choice. My next choice, I was sure someone would pick something off of this record. One of the best Queen albums on the planet in 1982. Changed so many people's lives. Ruined Queen's life. I'm going to go with... Why is this not popping up?
And
I
the
thought
pressure.
about it.
God, it's like... I don't know. Internet's wonky. All right.
Hey, it's
Queen,
there,
I'm gonna go
David
with Under
Bowie.
Pressure. Off
That's a
Hot
great
Space,
song, though.
which I think's phenomenal. This album, well, we've talked about this album a lot. I'm
The
not going to bring it up
disco
anymore.
album to Queen.
I'm not going to bring it up anymore, but Under Pressure does not fit on this record at all. And I don't
No.
know if that was the record company saying, "Hey, we need some kind of hit on this thing. Let's put Under Pressure on it."
Wasn't the single way before the album came out?
The single was
I
on
was
gonna
Greatest Hits in '81.
Yeah, yeah.
I
was on
think it
Greatest
was a
Hits 'cause I remember that.
single first. Yeah.
But it's on here, so I'm counting it.
Mm.
It's the only thing that really saves the record. Yeah, I think this is the last true Queen album. I'm not going to go into it. But
The cracks are showing.
We
Oh,
rehashed it.
showed on the game, ladies and gentlemen.
We
all
rehashed this
know.
one.
We rehashed this. But anyway, at least it's getting a mention tonight, but I think Under Pressure is brilliant. Come on. Brilliant. All right. My next one is a record. Oh, I love this. I originally had this when it came out on an EP. This is a record that got revamped several times. I've got an original pressing that came out on Harvest with a totally different album cover. But I love the EP. I thought the EP was brilliant. And then they added the tracks off the EP onto the record. I'm going to go with Thomas Dolby. One of our submarines, the golden age of wireless. But man, I still love it. I still love this record.
It's amazing.
It's an amazing album. Whether you put it in the configuration that it was originally released in, or if you put it out in the revamped version that's, well, this is the later version. I don't care. I'll take all of them.
And then there's
Thomas
the
Dolby.
there's the import version that had all the bonus tracks and then like a bonus DVD or something.
Yeah, try to pick that up now. It's
I
expensive.
got it.
All that's
You want to buy it from
yeah,
me?
but
Grant?
sure.
I'll
I'm
sell it
in.
to DC first though. DC wanted it.
You know me.
Old man Logan.
We can fix that. Oh, there. Oh no, that's.
Uh-oh.
everything.
Now we're
Now it's
lost.
on the-
Shit. Now we're off.
Now
Oh,
I'm-
Sorry, DC. I made you the butt of the
Sorry,
joke,
DC.
and then he
That's
made you the butt of
okay.
the joke.
it's not. I've done that to DC.
At least I have the
to
listener
get rid
now.
of Schnee, but so we're all screwed up now. All right. Well, I could keep deleting people and moving them around. So I could go back to the same order. Hey, hang on.
Ah,
Crap.
Nope.
Didn't work. All right. Well, I'll just have to pay attention.
Now
Really.
you sent Steve
least
to
I
the
have it written down.
Phantom Zone. You sent
Yeah.
sent Schnee to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah. Let's fix it. Let's bring him back up. Oh shit. Oh, all right. Sorry, Johnny. I'm just gonna keep moving people around.
It's all good.
Oh gosh.
I wish I could adjust people better, but there's too many here for me to adjust.
I like being on
I think
bottom.
that's what
anyway.
I think that's what a chiropractor's for.
Yeah, Johnny, John, the music nut likes being on the bottom, ladies and gentlemen.
You put
right.
me in the middle like Ann B. Davis on the
You're on
Brady
the
Bunch.
DC's are
Ann B. Davis,
yeah.
Mr. Brady, Mr.
all
Brady.
right. All right, so
Under
that's my
Under
pass.
that hat, DC has the Ann B. Davis hair.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh God, I should bring up. Do I still have that?
I'd
picture
like.
of you in
Wait
your
a minute.
disco?
Wait a minute. Look at here's a shot from me from back in the day when I was
from
playing
your
in a
group.
band.
Wow.
Another bass
Is there
player.
Wait a
electricity
minute.
back then?
Huh?
What's
Yes,
the
they
name of the
did.
group?
I was one of the earlier, the Crystal Ship. We took it from an old Doors song. Had white
What
saddle shoes on. Yeah, that's
what
old
kind of guitar
DC.
is that? I can't tell.
That's a cheap ass Univox, and also a Univox amp in the back.
Is it like a Univox Mosrite? Like the one that
Jeff
Kurt
Beck.
Cobain had?
Well, Jeff Beck was touting this model of amplifier. So I figure if it's good enough for Jeff Beck, it's good enough for me.
Good enough
so.
for
Good
young
enough for
DC.
me.
All
So.
right, that's cool. All
Look
right,
what the
so that
passages
was-
of time.
Yeah,
Sad.
I need a copy of
Very.
that so I can flaunt it
Along with my disco photo.
along with your disc.
I love disco. I love those disco show you have.
Oh, I'm a big fan, Yvonne, of disco
Me
as
too.
well.
Me too.
All right,
Yeah, it's so
that's
funny
my
how
three.
how DC is a fan of disco, and he craps all over 1982.
Yeah, it was some disco songs in.
Well, disco songs weren't mechanical. They were like very flourished and
Organic.
a funky beat, but it felt more organic to me when you start getting
I think he's having a stroke, Grant.
Are you having a stroke?
Either that or that
Somebody
possum
call
fighting him.
a
Call
specialist. Call 911. DC's freaking out.
Okay, sorry, Grant.
All
Okay,
right.
let's go. Let's
No,
go.
it's okay. It's all right. All right. That was my three. I'm going to send it over to Mr. Schnee for his.
Okay, I'm going to make this quick, guys. One of my best albums of 1982 was XTC's English Settlement, my favorite XTC album, and one of my favorite albums of all time. So many albums, so many tracks.
Hold on. You're going so fast, I can't even find your graphic. Okay.
Well, hurry up. So
Well,
many great tracks.
finicky.
So many great tracks. I haven't even said the track yet. You blew it right there.
Well, you were
gr-
going fast.
So many great tracks to choose from. Originally, I went with "Fly on the Wall," "Knuckle Down," "Snowman." This is such an incredible, great album. But I went with Jason and the Argonauts. It's incredible. Plus, my high school was Garden Grove High School, and we were the
What
Argonauts.
happened?
Oh,
We lost
Who's
Yvonne.
missing?
We
Yvonne.
lost Yvonne.
Yvonne.
uh-oh.
I think he got upset at my choice. Maybe he's not an XTC
We
fan.
lost Yvonne.
Steve, your mascot name was the Argonauts. That's the first. I kind of keep track of stuff like that. The Argonauts. That was your
Yeah, Garden Grove High School.
Oh,
Garden Grove High School.
Oh.
We were the
Hold
Argonauts.
on.
Go Argos!
Yeah.
Even though I have no school pride whatsoever, because I was as hated in high school as I am in the VC. So
Oh, come on.
So my next track, okay, that is an incredible album. I don't think that XTC ever topped it. They had a bunch of great albums after that, but English Settlement is an incredibly wonderful and deep and layered album. But my whatever the next number is Asia. And originally I was going to try Heat of the Moment, but then I thought, no. See, because I started thinking about what was my favorite song in 1982 off this album. It's probably Heat of the Moment might have been my favorite, but over the years, Only Time Will Tell became my favorite. And I saw the reunited 4 original members play it live a couple times, or a couple different tours. I love that album. I was never a hard rock fan, a prog fan. FM rock. I was the new wave punk, synth pop type guy. But gosh, that Asia album changed my mind on all that stuff. That was the first time I ever actually owned an album that featured Carl Palmer, or owned an album that featured John Wetton, or owned an album that featured Steve Howe, or owned an album that no, actually I had the Buckles, so I had Jeff Downes, but that was the closest I ever got to prog rock until I started listening to Marillion. And then finally the album, or the next song, Dexy's Midnight Runners, Let's Make This Precious. This is an incredible album. I know Come On Eileen is one of the most played songs ever, and people are tired of it, but this album is incredible. It was produced by Clive Langer and Alan Winstanley. This is definitely the last great Dexy's Midnight Runners albums. They released another album after this, which was abysmal, and then everything after that has just been mediocre. But this, I think, is pretty close to a masterpiece. Incredible record. Sounds great. Wow. Great songs. So those are my 3. Trying to keep it short because we do need to shut this down before midnight, I think.
Well, we need to be done by 10.
Okay.
So we will be done in a half an hour.
Okay.
All right, that was the last one. I'm going to throw it over to
Byron.
Byron.
Yes.
Byron, what's your last 4?
All right. I'm going to go real slow here then.
Do you see me?
Byron.
We can see it, Yvonne.
I think you're frozen. Yvonne, move.
I'm frozen.
Yvonne?
I think I'm
Yvonne's frozen.
Yeah, I'm frozen.
I
tried to.
We'll have to have him let it go.
Well, go back out and come back in. I'll let you back in. I'll let you back in.
Someone beat me to the Let It Go joke by about 0.8 seconds.
All right, so I'm going to go off of the Screaming for Vengeance album. I'm going to go with the first. Basically, it's the start of the first side. So I'm going to go with the Hellion and the Electric Eye. Reminds me a little bit of that Y&T thing I talked about earlier, where it has this instrumental guitar intro, which is just incredible. And then the song kicks off. This is a little more heavier than the Y&T track, though. But you just got to love the Hellion. It's just so the guitars are just right in your face, And then Electric Eye is just such a fast, it's fast, extremely fast for Priest at that point. I thought that was one of their heaviest things they'd done up until that point, I thought. But yeah, I love that way they started that album out. I think I said the last show, I don't like to talk about Rush that often because everybody talks about Rush. So
yeah, but you can tonight.
So I picked, I think, on Moving Pictures, I picked the last track on there. I'm drawing a blank right now, but I'm going to go off of here. I'm going to go with the Analog Kid.
Great.
I love that little guitar riff that he does. The keyboard section where Geddy's singing "You Move Me, You Move Me." I'm going to call that a chorus. I mean, I don't know what the hell else it is. I love that.
Phenomenal. We're losing Yvonne.
And then Alex is just burning up on that solo. I think it's the best track on here. It's a strong album. I mean, it's such a great album all throughout. But that's the song that really sticks with me the most. The one that I really want to hear the most. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go the debut album from this band. I believe. I don't even know where they're from anymore. Vandenberg. From the Netherlands or Denmark? I don't remember. But
what, Vandenberg?
Yeah.
They're I think
Say
the
Denmark.
Netherlands,
Yeah,
Denmark,
One of those two.
one of those three.
one of them.
So yeah, this was their debut album, and this is a solid album, really solid. But I'm gonna go with "Burning Heart." That was the track that got all the airplay on MTV. It's a great power ballad. The acoustic guitar parts in it are wonderful. The solo is very Michael Schenkerish, especially the way it starts with the layered harmony guitars. But he had to have been listening to a lot of Schenker when he was learning to play. But that's a great track. I love that album, actually. But the other albums, okay, but that one really stands out. And this is going to be a shocker. Of all the songs so far tonight, I think we've only had one duplicate, and this is going to be it. And it's me and Schnee.
Oh
I'm going to
my!
go with "Only Time Will Tell" off of here.
Wow.
It's such a good
Yeah,
album.
that's the only duplicate.
Really, there's so many great songs on here, but that's like you were saying, Steve. This is the song that really sticks with me the most on here.
Yeah.
I wrote down that it's a don't let the door hit you on the way out kind of song. It's like saying, you know what, I'm tired of you. Go, I'm done. I'm tired of you games. But I like the sad songs. I know Steve's probably more of a happy songs guy, but I like the sad songs in general.
Well, no, I'm just not a dark songs.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not into goth and darker stuff.
You're not a big fan of the Cure pornography album.
No, but I like a bunch of other Cure stuff. But pornography,
You like their poppy stuff.
yes, but I don't want to be pigeonholed. I mean,
understand.
remember, I originally had The Residents on my top 10 list, a song called "Smack Your Lips, Clap Your Teeth," but I pulled it off at the last second.
You should have kept it.
Yeah, well, that's a free bonus one right there, guys.
I'm still working on trying to get someone together to do the top 10 Residents albums. It's so hard to get that.
I'm fine. I'll do it, but I only go up to 1982.
Well, okay.
After that, they suck balls. Oop.
Top 10 tracks. Might be better. All right, cool. Well, there we go. The Residents coming up on the Warehouse. Who's talking?
We should probably do a Greg Kinn one soon.
Yeah, we probably should do a Greg Kinn show.
You know what? Let's do it Wednesday.
Live. Let's do it
Oh,
Wednesday
he's still alive.
at 9 p.m. live.
Okay, let's do it. Want to do it, Greg?
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
do it. All right.
Greg Kinn
So-
show Wednesday.
Wednesday live. All right. So
Yvonne.
that was Yvonne's up. Yvonne,
Yeah.
you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I
All
have a
right.
little problem with the internet, but I fixed it. First, before I start on my number 4, I just want to tell you what was hot in Norway on the Norwegian charts. And you are in the army now with a group called Bowland, was very popular in the start, and one guy called F.R. David with the album Words. Maybe you heard about that. And Shakin' Stevens, an English songer, he was very number one in Norway 6 weeks in a row with "Oh Julie." It was a rock and roll song. But the worst song that was number one in Norway in '82 was Electronica with "Dance Little Bird." We call it Fuglesangen in Norway, bird song. It was a crazy, very bad song. And of course, in Norway and in Europe, we have something we call Eurovision. That's a big music competition. And the number one song, the winner there was Nicole with "Ambition Frieden." She was from Germany. She was only 17 years old when she won this competition. And she was sitting and playing on a white guitar. And that was a very, very nice song. And of course, that was also number one in Norway in '82. So let's go back to my list. Number 4, that's one of my favorite groups. And I know that you in America call it jazz, but we call it jazzu. And the song is called "Don't Go."
Excellent.
So I also have this 12-inch remix by "Don't Go" and with a long version. But this Yazoo group, I really like them. This is synth pop on its best.
Incredible.
And I really love them.
Doesn't the American CD, Schnee, you know this, I think the long version of the 12-inch version of Don't goes on the American CD.
No,
Isn't it?
what they
What is it?
what they did on the American one is they took off a song. I think it was did they take off
12-inch.
Goodbye 70s? But then they put the 12-inch version of Situation on.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Which
it
was
was
a
one of
B-side.
those.
One of
This
their
Don't
best
Go
songs.
is
a B-side.
8 hours and 30 minutes. Don't Go.
It's 8 hours, ladies and
8
gentlemen.
hours and 30 minutes.
8
Wow.
minutes. 8
Wow,
minutes.
how'd that get on the radio?
Yeah.
Eight
Oh, I bet
minutes.
that's compressed to hell.
Yeah.
8 minutes. It's
It just
MP3.
sounds like
MP3.
I love it.
Okay.
That's
Number.
a great album.
Yeah, I love
record.
Yasu. Number 3 is the same ballpark. This ABC, the Election of Love. This is the album, and it's a very good album. And I also have the 12-inch, and the song is The Look of Love. And The Look of Love here has part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. So it's a very good, nice. I love these 12-inch records. I have a lot of those. And they was very hot in Europe, and especially when I was a DJ, I collect them. So that was my number 3 on 82 charts. And now we are on number 2. And that's also one of my favorite group. Of course, it's Toto. And I have a special version of it. This is Africa, and it's a special, special with Rosanna on one side and Africa on the other side. So
Wow.
That is really cool. I've never
Yeah,
seen
very
anything
nice.
like that.
Yeah.
I think it was a RSD record store day release. So it's
Also,
very
some
nice.
recent
Phenomenal.
released.
I like it. And Toto is one of my favorite group. I'm not so into very heavy music, and Toto can also be heavy, but I have everything with Toto, nearly everything, not everything, but nearly everything. So I love that. I've seen them live 3 times with different lineup. Toto also was studio music, and I really love that group, Toto. Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
And the Africa song is so good. It's
It's a great record.
They play
that
it
was-
every time. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
I mean, they kind of rallied for that one because the record company was going, "Hey, gentlemen, we need a hit.
Yeah.
We need something, and they delivered." So
And my favorite song from Toto is Georgie Porgy. That's
a great one from the
Hydro.
first album.
Yeah, that's my favorite song of all Toto songs.
Okay.
What's your number one?
cool.
What's your number one pick, Yvonne?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
shall we take the number 1? I take 4, 3, 2. Number 1 pick I'm gonna save at the last, isn't it? We take 4 in a row, no? Or
Yeah, we're doing 4. So do your
okay,
number
so we
one.
take the number 1. Okay. So number 1 maybe is gonna be a surprise for you guys because it's a group called Ice House.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
and they have 2 different covers of this album here, and ISOS, of course. I think this was nearly a solo project from Davis, the guy from ISOS, and he's from New Zealand, I think. Schnee maybe knows everything about ISOS, but I have a lot of albums of ISOS. And Hey Little Girl, I saw the video, and I think I also was in love in 82, and there was a girl, and I think the video is a ballerina and everything. It was a story in this video, and this song, Hey Little Girl, is a beautiful, very, very nice song. So that is my
Fantastic.
number 1 pick from 82. And it was not a big hit, but I love it.
Well, Ice House
Right.
didn't do anything here in the States.
No, it
A
was
blip
not
on
so
the
hot
screen.
in USA, but in Europe it was okay.
They had some minor success, but definitely not in those early days. In fact, the first album did kind of well, like on K-Rock and stuff in LA. That album didn't, or this album here, A Primitive
Didn't
Man,
do anything.
but it was huge, of course, in Australia. The song "Great Southern Land" off that album is now considered like Australia's anthem. Yes, such a great band.
Have you made a special episode about ISOs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I will search for
Steve's already hit everybody.
that. Yeah.
Now he's branching off into TV shows, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Covered every band.
Schnee.
I really on this episode, Grant, I really
Yeah.
prefer not to mention Schnee TV and This is Ski Lodge, Tuesday nights. I prefer not to advertise them on the show, but so please don't mention Schnee TV, which is streaming now.
And before I end, I was just telling about this album, Culture Club. Do you really want to hurt me? That was a song that was a hit, and I really like this Culture Club. And Culture Club did that. I did makeup 2 times. But Culture Club, I have all the 3/4 album from them, and they were so huge. And this album is so good. It's also from
It's a great record. I do think Color by Numbers is their masterpiece, though.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a masterpiece. Nothing weak on
Thanks,
it.
Dan.
Absolutely, yeah.
This was very
Dan,
fun.
Schnee TV is awful stuff. That's Dan. That's not. Nice.
That's an outrage.
That's an outrage.
That's an outrage.
No, actually, Schnee TV's pretty good. So check it out.
Yeah.
When's the next one airing, though, Steve?
At this point, I have no idea.
Okay.
Probably in about 2 weeks. It's probably every 2
Anyway,
weeks.
you can see them on his channel. The link is down below. Check it out. In fact, Johnny Metals, hit link to his channel's down below. Yvonne, I don't have Yvonne's link, and I don't have. Well, John the Music Nut just started his channel.
Yep.
And I haven't got
him
his
in.
link. I don't have his link on there yet. I'll add both of you gentlemen.
You'll have to
My
get
link,
link.
I have 913 subscribers. I have a goal to reach 1,000 before this year ends.
Oh, you'll get 1,000 by then.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I hope that.
And we still don't understand what you're saying, Yvonne.
You don't? I have a little accents, but you understand.
We'll get everybody linked in here. So
No,
If you want to read my book, How to Get Up to 6,000 subs in 2 years, you can.
I gotta
you can
read
get
that book.
below.
Yeah. You have all these YouTube shorts. I have some of those also. It was a
Well, I
time
don't
that
do
was
shorts
very-
anymore. I think YouTube shorts are fine to use as filler if you don't have any content that you're pushing up there. Main thing is to do content all the time. Shorts fill that, but I've been doing so many shows
Yeah, I know that.
I don't need to do any.
Well, I got up to 30 subscribers to my vaudeville channel, but 28 of them died. So
There you go.
No.
Jay will sub.
Oh, boy.
Everybody who's in the chat, I appreciate everyone here. We try to keep it interactive. We're going to go to 10. Hopefully we can zip through it.
Yeah, send me.
I'm-
Even Music Man.
If you have not subscribed to any John the Music Nuts channel, John, what's shit?
Called John a Music Nut.
All right, find it. Please subscribe. Stephen Schnee's channel. Please subscribe. Yvonne, the name of your channel again?
Even Music Man. One word.
Yvonne, please, if you're a subscriber to my channel, please give these gentlemen some love and subscribe.
And watch out for my book coming called How to Have Pretty Good Content, but Turn Off All Your Viewers.
It's available below.
Yeah. The link's below.
at all
right,
fine
everybody,
bookstores.
Okay, so
all right,
John,
Me.
where are we at?
me.
You? All right,
Me.
Johnny Metal's up. What's your last
My
four?
turn. Okay, so these last 4, these are actually going to be songs that really kind of made an impact on me in '82. So for me, I couldn't get away from this video no matter how much I wanted to run from it, because basically it's Flock of Seagulls and I ran. And I just, again, yeah, it's a new wavy song, but so what's a metalhead doing liking it? Well, I like that guitar line.
It's brilliant.
I love the guitar player in this. To me, I thought he was just fantastic in that. And I love that kind of early, what would basically become the Edges sound with all the echo and everything going on. But anyway, couldn't get away from the video. Love the song though. You guys were mentioning the Asia album. Well, John and I on my music corner, we're going to talk about Drama that comes out on Wednesday. So we had a very fun discussion about that. So get your Steve Howe and Jeff Down fix in there. My next pick, Steve, you mentioned a song from this album already. I'm going with another one. I think Red Skies from Shuttered Room is just absolutely amazing. Again, you have that seriousness of the tonality of the song. You just have that just atmospheric song, music, perfect. Love Cy Cernan's voice. Jamie West Oram, great player. There you go. My next song, I've seen a few people mention something from this album, but I'm going to be a little different. Yeah, I'm going to go with the leadoff track from this particular album because I was a weird kid back in the 80s, and for some
You're
reason,
still weird, John.
I'm still weird. 40-something years later, I'm still weird, and John still wants to do a show with me every week. So that should, that hopefully that's a good thing. But anyway, no, I thank him for that. Anyway, I would end my year by playing "Where Have All the Good Times Gone" from the Diver Down album off of Van Halen. Yes, it's a Kinks cover. But for some reason, I would always make that be the last song I would purposely listen to before the new year would kick in. I don't know why. I like the version, though. Is the rest of Diver Down good? That's up for debate. It's no fair warning. But anyway, last pick. A lot of people have been mentioning it in the chats. Don't Tell Me You Love Me.
I love it.
Do I need to say anything more? No. I think check the show out that Grant and I and John and some of my guys from the North and South Rock and Metal Connection did with Dawn Patrol versus Midnight Madness, and that is all you need to hear. So on to the next Mr. DC, I think.
DC.
All right. Last four, I'm going to go as quick as I can. Single from the pop charts, so fresh. And to Marlon's dismay, it features a sax solo. Men at Work, Who Can It Be Now?
Oh my God.
That's all. That says 1982 to me right there, folks. All right. I'm going to go with a ballad. I'm the old man here. Let's go with a ballad. Christopher Cross with Arthur's Theme. This guy was so hot and then just disappeared. The music scene is so fickle in this country. Unlike, and maybe Yvonne can address this, in Europe, if they love you, they love you. And here, we're always just looking to boot the, whoever's hot and look for the next flavor of the month. Next song, already been mentioned. I believe it was John, the Music Nut, was Marshall Crenshaw with Someday, Some Way, off that fantastic debut album. Maybe the one instance where Rolling Stone magazine got something right, because they touted this album big time. Shocked I was. I agreed with them in that instance. Last one. Let's go with a hard rock tune.
Whoa, everybody. Coming in fast.
Simmer
What
down.
is that, the entire Christopher Cross catalog?
The entire Christopher Cross catalog.
Yeah, I like Christopher Cross. It's yacht rock.
So over the whole course of what's your thoughts on the whole catalog, Steve?
Yeah,
He's a
pick a mid career to late career album that's a gem that we can trust to pick up, and we'll say, "Wow, that's damn good."
Take Me As I Am.
Okay.
Take Me As I Am.
Noted.
It is incredible. It's just as good as his first album.
Oh, wow.
He chose this time on this album, all the verses are instrumental. So he's playing guitar, but all the choruses have lyrics.
Okay.
Oh, really?
It was a different way, a new way of him writing songs or whatever, and his best batch of songs.
All right. I will definitely check that one out.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
No,
that's okay.
Hey, we're loose here. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Last pick, I'm going to go with a hard rock tune. The band's been mentioned before. A couple songs have been mentioned before. But I'm going to go with the title track to Break Out. Man, that riff is just infectious. Love it. There he is. There's our buddy. Whatever the hell's going on there.
I don't know. He's in pain.
It's
Some
not
brain
good.
damage.
It's not good. Okay, so I'm done. That's it for me. My
All
turn.
right, cool. Now who's next, John?
John the Music Nut.
John the Music Nut, you're up. See, I'm all screwed up now, so
You're mute.
thank God. Who's mute? John?
Uh-oh.
John, you're mute.
Sorry about that, guys. Thank you all for joining us in the chat tonight. Okay,
Yes.
I'll be quick too because we got two. I have two duplicates already. I'm going to mirror Byron's pick. Rush Analog Kid from Signals is my number 4. Everything
There you
that
go.
Byron said, spot on. Fantastic track. My favorite track from Signals. And I know a lot of you have mentioned different songs in the chat from this album. Excellent album. Number 3, this has not been mentioned, but this artist has been mentioned. This is from The Nightfly. This is Donald Fagen, New Frontier. What a
Come
word.
on, pop up. There it goes. Man, this thing's finicky tonight.
Yeah, what a wordsmith Donald Fagen is. You got those great harmonies, those
So good. That album is so good. Yeah.
Fantastic track. Number 2, now I'm going to mirror my friend John. This is from the debut by Night Ranger, Dawn Patrol, and the song is Don't Tell Me You Love Me.
Yep.
Oh,
That's a good
perfect
one.
combination of keyboards and loud guitars. This song
You know,
just
if
takes
you-
you for a ride.
Well, that intro is killer too.
If you tweak the song,
boom,
you could make
boom.
this into a power pop song. If
You could.
tweak it. You could.
Yeah.
Caught Up in You by 38 Special is the best power pop song that was never a power pop song.
I
I
agree.
can't argue that.
Agreed. It's
I love 38 Special. Love it. So,
Excellent.
all right, John, what's your number 1?
My number 1, and it's just a song that always came back to me. And I mean, 1982, I mean, there were so many great heavy metal songs from this year. I don't have a heavy metal song in here. The closest I have is Don't Tell Me You Love Me. But this was by an Australian band before they made it huge worldwide. And this is off of Shabu Shaba. And it's In Excess, Don't Change.
Yes.
What an
Great
album.
record.
Oh, my
So-
I remember seeing that video back in the day, like on when TBS used to have videos on Friday night. And
Yeah.
I just remember that's the one where the cats are on the table and are eating food. And what a
Mm-hmm.
great video. Made a big impression. And I thought the track was incredible.
Oh, this I mean, I still get goosebumps every time I listen to this song. It's just such a positive, excellent, catchy song. I love it to death.
Do you
Love it.
tape,
song is
do you tape Grant on
fantastic.
VHS, all these songs? I have a lot of VHS tape in my attic, and I tape all this video. when
Yvonne's
was
got
on
it
TV.
all, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
used
And
to
if
be
you
my
want a
last
cassette,
move.
he's probably got it.
Yeah, I can show them next time if I can come on next show. I will show you
Sure,
some
of
video. I have a lot of
8 tracks,
Oh.
Yvonne. 8 tracks.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
Yvonne for cassettes, Ernesto for 8 tracks. Remember,
Yeah, we didn't have 8 tracks in Europe so much.
Okay.
That's cassettes.
Adamant was doing the Friend of Foe tour. He was playing in Costa Mesa at a outside arena or amphitheater or whatever. His opening act, I remember looking in the paper, I go, "Who's this Inks?" And so I went to the store. I went to the store the next day because the first 2 albums weren't released here. And then they had Shibu Shaba by Inks. So I took it home, and it took me maybe about another week before I realized it was pronounced In Excess.
Inks.
But yeah, I got into them on that album and then jumped off after Listen Like Thieves.
All right, cool. All right, so we're keeping it current, ladies and gentlemen. Someone just mentioned Cheap Trick. It's tight. How can I not mention Cheap Trick? And I'm going to mention Cheap Trick if the graphic will show up when I click it. Wow,
It's up.
what
There it
is
is.
going on? Where did it pop? There it is.
Yeah,
I'm going to go
I see
with.
If you want my
oh,
love, you
look, it's all
got it.
screwed up.
It's a great song.
Wait a minute. Let me click that and try it again. There, it's back.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
saw
know
it.
what's going on. I think we need to
What was
reboot,
there?
but we can't.
Oh, I was
reboot
seeing
right
it.
now.
I was seeing it before.
It was double. If You
Oh,
Want
okay.
My Love from One on One, which is phenomenal. One of the greatest Cheap Trick songs of the 80s, I think. It's phenomenal. And I think the production on here is great. You know, I wasn't a big fan of Roy Thomas Baker's production on here. I think he should have stuck with his production that he did on the heavy metal soundtrack, because I think the 2 Cheap Trick songs on there are phenomenal. And it's not the same production that, you know, you get here. It's weird. I could go on and on and on, but I'm not. But I could. This one was mentioned, 38 Special, and I love 38 Special, and I'm clicking, and I've got 38 Special cut up.
Oh, there you go. Awesome.
Caught up in you.
Caught Up in
I-
You for Special Forces. I think's phenomenal. If you just
Incredible.
if you just want some 38 Special, just get a greatest hits, because my God, the amount of songs on there is just all phenomenal. I love it.
I got that on vinyl. Fuck. Yeah.
Of course you do, Yvonne. You've got
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah.
All right, here's one. No one's even mentioned Genesis tonight, but we're going to mention Genesis. Paperlate from Three Sides Live.
Paper plate. Paper
I
plate.
But that's a live album. That's a live album.
Yeah,
But not
but
that,
side
that
four
four
is all
side.
studio.
That side four is all studio stuff.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Europe, it was 4 sides live though. With the
Yeah,
with the
I think
bonus
everything was
45.
Yeah, but
everything
we
was
got a
live in
third-
Europe.
Our third side is studio material, and
Okay,
I
we didn't. I think we didn't
I
have
love
that.
it. Yeah,
I had the import.
that's what we
for
got.
that.
I think that didn't they switch it now? I think now the four sides got live stuff. I don't know, it doesn't matter, but I had Paperlate on mine, and phenomenal song. I love it. Don't need to go into it. And I must say, my favorite song in 1982, though I didn't rank all these, but I have to bring this up because I love this song. I love this record. This is my favorite King Crimson album, and I'm gonna go with "Heartbeat" off of Beat. I think that song, "Heartbeat," brilliant. Adrian Belew's vocals, brilliant. This whole album, brilliant.
It is.
I love it, and I've loved it ever since it came out. I love the trio of records, and I just love the way this sounds. And I think it's a wonderful song. If there ever was going to be a hit for King Crimson, it would be that. So there you go. That's my number one. That is my number one, I would have to say. Well, maybe Duran Duran. Yeah, I don't know all of them. I like them all. All right, let's throw it over to Stephen Schnee for his final four, and we're at
Take
it.
us home, Steve.
Okay.
Take us home.
Now I'm going to talk really slow. This
Well, we'll slowly be losing people. So
no. Okay. So my I guess number 4, number 3, whatever, is Haircut 100, Lemon Fire Brigade, which is an incredible track off an incredible album. These guys were in their early 20s and they were playing music well beyond their years. I mean, there were artists in their 30s or 40s that weren't playing music like this. Latin, salsa, funk, R&B, pop, blue-eyed soul, everything. Lemon Fire Brigade is incredible. Just from incredible song from a great album. Was not a single. Everyone knows all the singles, but that's a great one. And then my next is Split Ends, 6 Months in a Leaky Boat, from the amazing Time and Tide album. I'm trying to wait till Grant catches up with me.
well, it's slowing down.
There you
I
go.
don't know what's going on.
There you go. Split Ends, 6 Months in a Leaky Boat, Time and Tide, incredible album. I remember getting this album and not liking it at all because it was so different from True Colors and Wayada, and thinking like, wow, this is. But then here, somebody just mentioned Christopher Cross and the Fredonia. You can get those albums, those Fredonia albums, on his website. Those are great too. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I was saying the same exact thing. But anyway, back to Split Ends. Second time I heard it, I fell in love with it. You know, this whole album, so muscular and rhythmic and creative and ultra layered, produced by Hugh Padgham. Tim Finn, just top of his game as a vocalist. It's just an absolutely wonderful album. I cannot say enough good things about it. And then finally, these two songs here, I'm going to list them in an order, but they are tied for my number one songs of 1982. Flock of Seagulls, Space Age Love Song, which is just a brilliant song from a brilliant album.
It's my honorable mention.
Wasn't even true.
I have I think I counted like 92 honorable mentions, which I won't go into on this video. But if you want me to, I'll start. No, but
that album cover is perfect also. I
Yeah,
loved it. I love that album also.
this is great.
Oh,
There's a
great
3
record.
CD version now where it's got, a bunch of bonus material on it, which came out about 2 years ago, I think. And it is a brilliant album. They are not a synth pop band. They are very much, you can classify them, I guess, as new wave because there's just as much guitar. I mean, guitar takes just as much dominance as the keyboards do. The bass playing's great. The songs are great. Just incredible. And that ties with probably the most obscure thing you're going to hear about on this show.
Yeah.
And it's a band called Blanket of Secrecy. And it's an album called Ears Have Walls or Walls Have Ears, depending on which country you're in. A song called Say You Will. This is a band featuring Roger Bakarian, who was a producer. He produced a lot of great records. This is a band that was destined for stardom. It was released on F-Beat, so it's tied in with Stiff Records, F-Beat. Some of these guys work with Nick Lowe, all this kind of stuff. There was a lot going on behind this, and they were really getting a lot of people behind them. The label was so sure. They signed to Warner Brothers in the U.S. The label was so sure that this was going to be a huge record that they set them up to open for Tom Petty for his entire U.S. tour in '82. And they had the band go in and record their second album before they went on the road so they could release it while they were out on the road. And then somebody talked to the lead singer and said, "Hey, you'd do better solo. You can make more money. You'd be more in control." And the lead singer quit the band before that tour, before anything. So they were not able to capitalize on how great this album is. It was, and there's just as much, it's 3 guys and they're creating beautiful, wonderful music. And it has to be heard. After the show, type in Blanket of Secrecy, Say You Will on YouTube, and go listen to them. Really, really wonderful. That second album actually was eventually released, but only digitally just a few years ago when they went back and remastered it. So you can get them digitally, or you can get that Blanket of Secrecy, that album right there. You can find that on vinyl out in the world. And I do own a Russian bootleg of that as well on CD.
There you go.
So, but I know it's the most obscure here, but it's just great pop music.
And you can stream it. You think it's on streaming platform?
What was that? You can stream it?
You can stream that album.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, nice new for me. I will do that when I go under the blanket because the clock. No, it's 4:10 in the night.
Oh,
I
good
know, we're
Lord.
wrapping this dog up, ladies and gentlemen. We went 2 hours and 8 minutes. We tried to do it under 2 hours. We tried.
Yeah.
But it's all about talking music. It's all about turning you on to stuff. Hopefully you get something out of it that you want to go out and check out.
It's been an honor being on screen with all you guys.
Likewise.
Right back at you.
You're welcome.
Shut up, TC.
This
But
was
anyway, everybody had
this was very fun. I love it.
It's
I love it.
fun. Well, hey, we're going to do this again. We'll be doing 1983 next.
Might as well.
So,
it's always a good time, though.
I'm with
We'll
you.
do that in September. I'll set up a date. It'll be on right before Hudson Valley Square, so that's when we do it. So, all right, everybody. Good night. What's next in the warehouse? There's a lot. God, I'm doing 3 shows tomorrow for one.
You know what?
What?
Let's you and me skip a show tomorrow. Because I know that we had 4 shows apart, scheduled for tomorrow, apart from the ones you did. And let's just do Greg Kinn on Wednesday.
I don't remember what I have got tomorrow. We'll talk later.
I like Greg Kinn. That's a good.
Well, we're going to do a tribute on Wednesday at 9
Okay.
p.m. Eastern time. So
Jeopardy was my #1 disco song from Greg Kinn band.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
So, all right, we're going to do that. Well, let's wrap it up. Everybody have fun over Sea of Tranquility. So, say hello to Pete. We will see everybody later. Everybody keep it clean. I want to thank the panel, Johnny Metal, BM Bolt, DC, Schnee, John the Music Nut, and Yvonne the Music Man. Oh, bring up your little friend up there, DC, again. There he is. Oh, our little possum friend. How
Good
nice.
night, folks.
All right.
Have a great
All
week.
right, everybody, have a great week. We'll be back here. Don't forget Wednesday's the live show on Contrarians. Check it out. All right, keep it clean. See you, everybody. Later.